Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 125 of Build Your Stash and Craft. And today we are just going to make some napkin paper just that we can use you can use it to cover journals, make tags, make flowers. You can use it for all sorts of things. And I just thought it would be kind of fun. We all seem to have a lot of these coloring books, I'm guessing. But they have them at the Dollar Tree. They're so hard to resist. And when you're a crafty person, a lot of people like to buy them for you for gifts. But, you know, the whole point is if you buy one of these coloring books, it will take you a really long time to color the whole thing. And so we have them more because they're beautiful than because we're actually going to sit down and color in them and color the whole book. So what I thought is on the pages that we are not going to color, we could use those as a background with a napkin on top, and it would just make a really cool effect and it would look good. Now, the one thing that I did find out when I made my first one was that the busier your napkin, the less that you see the print through the napkin. Now, on this one here, the print is as busy on the napkin as it is on the background, so they almost blend together. So it's very swirly, and you really can see it through it, but it's not real noticeable. And so I think that the less busy your napkin is, the better the background will show up. Also, because the pattern that I used out of my book was very flowery and swirly, and this is very flowery. They really blended together well, which is something that you may want. You just kind of want it there in the background, not really noticeable, but just giving you that extra layer. But if you want it to show up, you're going to want to make sure that your background is not really matchy to your foreground. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how I did it. Now we use our water glue, and water glue is 2 parts glue to 1 part water. Just Elmer School glue, Dollar Tree glue, any type of a white PVA glue is what you'll want to use. And again, 2 parts glue to 1 part water. And we're just going to separate our napkin to remove the backing, because you don't want that backing on there. What happens is when you glue it together, the front falls off because the back is what gets glued to your paper. So whenever you have a napkin, now these ones have just 1 layer of backing. Some of your more expensive napkins have 2 layers of backing, so you want to make sure that you take off all of the backing. And then because this napkin, I just love this napkin. I can't believe I should have picked up some more. Well, I always think that I should have picked up some more. You know, this is from the Dollar Tree. There's 14 napkins in here, and there's 6 of these panels on each napkin. So what do we have? 60, 70, 84 panels. So I think I'm probably good for a while. And then I'm just going to choose what I want to put behind it. And you can kind of hold your napkin on your pattern and see if you think that you like the way that looks. Now your background will show up a little bit more once it's wet, and so you just go through your book, and I kind of like that one, but I'm afraid that it might blend in too much. Okay, I think I found it. I really like this mandala behind the Keep Life Simple, and so I think that this is what I'm going to do. Now, if you don't want to waste your page, you can always just come over to an edge. I really want the center of this page, so what I'm going to do is I can always use this that's left over for collage later on. So I'm not really wasting it by cutting out the middle. And that's really where I want it. Sometimes I get a little bit too frugal and I think, oh, well, yeah, but I can't waste the middle of that. And, you know, then what happens is I'm not as happy with whatever I did as I could have been, because I really didn't make it the way that I wanted to. So remember, you can always use your extra bits on something else. I want to see, this side was really quite nice too. I kind of like the darker lines. The darker, thicker the lines, the more they're going to show up through your napkin. So I'm going to try right here. And I put parchment paper down underneath of my paper. And I'm just going to need to go just above and below these two circle lines. And right out to about here. So now if you get glue all over your paper, that's okay. You can still use it. I'm going to go out even a little further. I don't want to try and go exactly where I need it to be, because I definitely want to make sure that I have glue under the whole thing. Okay, so just go up to here. And if there's glue on what you cut off, that's still usable. It's not going to hurt anything. And now I'm going to try and center this, because once I set it down, it's going to stick. I'm going to start in the middle and then go out towards the edges. Just tap it down a little bit and put your water glue on top. And then you're going to have to let it dry. And then you can use it for whatever you would like to use it for. I like this one much better than the first one I did. I can definitely see that background. And the thing about it is they blend together so well that even though you can really see the background, you kind of don't notice that it is really a background. Excuse me. If I had put this on like a book page, you would really see those book letters in the background. And because it's type, it's not decoration, it stands out as something different. This almost blends in as it was part of the napkin to begin with. And so maybe that's why I felt like you couldn't see the other one very well. But there we go. And I'm going to let this dry. You can dry it with your heat gun if you want to, but we'll set it aside and let it dry, and then we'll cut it out and do something with it. Now I thought that I would. I've got this napkin that I got these when we did our painted rocks, and I'm going to try and see, because there's quite a bit of, if I can get it apart, there's quite a bit of white behind these. I'm just having a time with it today. Usually I use just a piece of tape. Just a piece of regular old Scotch tape, and you stick it on the backing and pull it up, and it will rip the backing, but not the front. And then you can peel the backing off. But today I forgot to get it. Move my corner a little bit. So, this has such a white background. I thought that it would show up much better. And so I thought that we would do one of those to see how that does. Now let's see. Ooh, I kind of like this. I think I like that print behind the smiley faces. So we're going to go ahead and do one more with this. And this is just, it's such a simple project. And, you know, you may have everything you need in your stash without even going out and getting anything. Because we have, the only thing that we have not purchased actually for our series is one of the color books. So, you should have some napkins and some water glue. And I just think that it's really cool. I'm going to do this whole page because I also am going to put the white part of the napkin on here because I think that that will make cool tags. The thing about it is this paper in this book is very, very thin, and so the napkin just gives it a little bit more stability. This thin paper gives the napkin more stability, so they help each other out and make it easier to use as a tag, because you're gonna, if you want to use it as a tag that you can write on the back of, you'll want to add some paper to the back to write on, and that will give you even one more layer to make it a nice strong tag. And then I'm just going to take this. I don't really care for the red and the blue edging, so I'm going to try and kind of pull those so that they're not actually touching the page. Just going to pull out where my seams are a little bit. I'm just pulling on the outside of this napkin over here. And there we go. And when you do napkins, you're going to have wrinkles. Now, I've had people say that they iron them. I've heard people say they iron them before they glue them onto anything, and that helps with that, with the creases where they're folded. But to me, the texture of the napkin is part of what makes the paper special. You know, when you put this together, that texture, and that's, I'm a very tactile person. I like the way things feel. And so that texture to me is just great. I like it. So I don't worry about it. I don't want a huge crease. Like, I don't want to fold one of the faces in half or something. But I do really like having the little bit of wrinkles that once it dries, it just feels really nice. And I think that this top part is going to make a really nice tag also. Really like the way that looks. And it just gives it a little extra texture, so when you cut it out and you glue a piece of paper behind it, you know, to make it into a tag or a journaling card or something, that extra little bit of texture makes it so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look like, oh, that's just a coloring book page out of a coloring book. You know, people, like, they feel it and they look at it and it's like, well, what is that? You know, it's I thought it was a color book page, but it doesn't feel like a color book page. And then the texture too, if you wanted to stain on it with some of your sprays or anything, that texture will grab the color. So there we go. Got that one all glued down. And this is what it looks like. And I think it's just fun. It knocks the faces back a little bit because they are really kind of in your face and bright when they were just on the napkin. So we'll set this aside and let it dry. I will be back in just a little bit when it's all dry, and we'll do something with them. Okay, I'm back and we're all dry. I've already cut out the first one, and that's what it looks like with the pages behind it and the napkin on top. And then I was looking at this one and I thought that it would make a really cute card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up at the very top. I'm going to push, even though I've got this extra napkin, I'm going to push my paper because I know my paper has a straight edge. I'm going to push that right up against my bar at the top. Cut that off. And now that I've got a straight edge, I can go ahead and trim it at the bottom. And the book page has a little white part on it, so I'm going to cut that white part off. Because I don't want to see that white bit. Get rid of that. Sorry about that. My phone quit on me. I had erased my videos, but I forgot to go and dump them out of the trash box, so it decided that I had no memory left. But so what I've got here then is I just cut out, I finished cutting this out, and then what I'm going to do is first thing I'm going to do is glue this to some cardstock. And I thought that it would make a really cute card. So I'm going to do it with a glue stick, because that's what I have out here. I would probably normally, because I'm using it to make a card, I would normally probably use tacky glue. But since I forgot to bring my tacky glue out, we're going to use the glue stick that I have here. And I'm going to just glue the whole thing. Now you could leave it just like it is, because this is really cute. And then you could just put a sentiment on some cardstock and just glue it into your card and leave the rest of it for the person that you give the card to color. And that would be really cute. I never thought about that, or I would have done that, because I think that that would be just darling with that on the inside. I'm just going to take this and try and line it up as best I can. There we go. Move my paper over so I'm not in my glue. Just press that down really well. Yeah, and I just thought that those little funny faces were so cute that they would make a really cute card. And at first, when I looked at it, I was thinking, oh man, I wish I would have put it this way so that my card would have been a tall card. And then I realized, well, I can just go ahead and do the short kind of card. So I'm going to make sure that I move that over to my cutting line. There we go. And do it here. And there we go. Now we'll just use our little scoreboard. And I know that, pretty sure that this is 9 inches. Let's see. Looks like maybe it's just barely over 9 inches. So I'm going to score it at 4.5. And then I will just cut off any extra. And when you're scoring, the side that you score is the side that's going to be to the outside of your bend. That way your paper doesn't crack. You stretch the paper down in so that when you fold it out, it does not crack. And then I do have just a little extra, so we'll just cut that off. And there we go. Doesn't that make just a cute little card? And that added extra background just gives you something different. And then I thought maybe what we do, because those little smiley faces are really cute, I thought maybe we'd just give one of them, just one, some little sparkly eyes with our little gems that we have. So now we have to decide, do we want to be in the center, off to the side? Oh, what the heck, we'll just do this one right here in the middle. And normally when I put these gems on, I put tacky glue behind them. And there we go. So there is a quick little card. It's a fun card. Nobody else is going to have one just like yours. And I just think that that turned out really cute. Now we'll just take the other one, glue it to some cardstock, and just make it into a quick tag. So I just have a piece of scrap cardstock here. And I lost my glue stick. Here it is. And again, as a tag, I probably would normally use tacky glue. Whoops, and I am down to the end of this stick glue. But if it starts to come up a little bit on the edges or something, I can always put some tacky glue on it later, wherever it starts to lift. I thought I had 2 glue sticks here too. Just going to line that up. And obviously I am going to have to re-glue it because I don't have enough glue to finish it, but we're going to pretend. There we go. And just take our scissors. Just cut that off, then just flip it over to get the other side so that they're the same. And there we go. Now we have a cute little tag with lots of area to journal on it. And I think that both of those turned out really cute. So that's just a little something for this week, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And for next week, what we're going to need is, move these for a second. And I found my other glue stick. We are not necessarily going to use these for next week, but we're going to buy them for next week because I just got them at the Dollar Tree, and so I wanted to put this on here while they are hopefully still there for you or just getting ready to come in for you. But what I picked up was 5 LA colors and 1 makeup brush. Now this is just a really cute little makeup brush, and you know, they only had just this one there, so I don't know if it's getting towards the end or if they had just put them out and everybody bought them, but it's just a soft makeup brush, and a soft makeup brush works really nice to put on your shimmers. And so we're going to pick up any soft makeup brush. If they don't have this one, you don't have to get this one. And we're going to get 5 of those, so that's 6. And we are going to pick up a bag of white sand from the Dollar Tree. So this is $7 for next week. And let's see. Right now, we have $38 in our bank. Nope, we have $34 in our bank. And so we are going to spend $7. So we're going to spend $2 more than our 5. So that is going to take us down to $32 in our bank. But this is what we'll need for next week. This is what we're going to use. These are things that we're going to need. And the reason that I really like these are the LA colors. And they're just like the other LA colors that we got. But the thing is, if I can get it out of here, I opened up one just to make sure it was what I thought it was. There we go. But these lids screw off, unlike the others where we have to pull off the bottom. These lids screw off, and then some of your colors, if you take off there's like a clear plastic on here. If you take that off, you can shake your colors into the top, or you can just take this little piece off completely, which I did really easily when it was not on camera. It just lifts off, and you'll be able to get right into the powder. So that's what makes these so much better than the others. Like I said, it's the same type shimmers that we have bought in the past, except in a much better container. And so actually, if you have some of your other colors, when you get these, you can open these up, pull the bottom off your other ones, and just shake them into this, so that you'll have an easier way to get into them and to use them than the way the other ones work. So that's what we're going to pick up for next week. We'll also need like some of the napkin backs and some of our white tissue paper, some thread and fibers, and paper punches, things that are very thin. And I think that's about it. Oh, and our water glue. So, alrighty, thank you very much for coming by and watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you like the way that these turned out. I really do appreciate you taking your time to stop and watch. Thank you very much, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.